Go ahead, take your block and stand with your feet comfortably under your hips, toes pointed forward, lifting tall through the back of the head. Go ahead and just bring your block in front of your chest with your hands pressing into it. And we'll just use it to help us sort of feel the resistance, right? And help us lengthen our spine. So as you inhale, just relax. And then as we exhale, we're going to gently press our hands into the block and lengthen our spine. Feeling your shoulder blades draw down. Just kind of feel a little bit of length there. And then relax as you inhale. More people are coming in. We're using a block or two if you have them. And so as we exhale, we're going to gently squeeze and lengthen the spine. Good. And relax as you inhale. And then this time, go ahead and add lifting the heels. So as we lengthen our spine on our exhale, float the heels up, and then inhale, float back down as you relax your arms, okay? Exhale, press and lengthen, lift the heels, and inhale, lower down. Good, one more time. Exhale, press, lengthen, float those heels up, hold, and lower back down. And then just taking your block in one hand, bring the arms out, and we'll just pass it underneath one leg. Bring that foot down and pass it underneath the other leg. I'll see how graceful I can be on that side. But try to be smooth and graceful, right? I'm not. I'm going to try. Okay. So as we exhale, we lift the leg, pass the block under, right? Simple. There we go. Now I'm going. Okay, good. Exhale. It's hard to balance on my right leg. Okay, last one. And then go ahead and bring that block back in front of you, only reaching your arms forward. Take the block up over the head, letting your shoulder blades kind of relax down, feeling your spine lifted. Good. And then go ahead and take a little back bend. So just letting your block go back a little bit, looking up. And return to standing. And we'll take a side bend here. So inhale, lengthen, exhale over to one side. Reach it out and up. Good. Inhale, up, exhale over to the other side. Little side stretch and lift it up. And then put the block just gently rested on your head. Inhale, exhale, twist to one side, looking back. And return. Inhale, exhale, twist the other way, looking back. And return. Good. And then lift the block up and bring it down in front of you. We're going to come to the end of our mat, wherever you want to be, holding your block. Inhale here and just rolling down on our exhale. And you can just set your block down and you might rest your hands on it if you like. And just let the knees bend and straighten a little bit here. Relaxing the arms, neck, shoulders. And then picking up our block. Kind of imagine it's a little bit heavier than it is. We're going to stack our spine back up. So tucking the pelvis as we stack up. At the top, take an inhale. And then roll down on your exhale again. And letting that block just be down in front of you. And we'll bend one knee and then the other. And just let your hips get a little shifting motion here. Relax the head. Then both legs straight, just taking your block a little farther out in front of you. Put your hands on top of it or your fingertips. And pressing your heels into the ground, lifting the tailbone, looking forward a little bit on the mat, right? Just keeping ahead. Could feel a little bit more stretch in the back of our legs. Good. And then go ahead and let your back relax. Pull that block off to the side, just wherever you want to put it next to your mat. Walk the hands out. Do a nice down dog. Take a little down dog stretch. And feel free to move your body around or whatever feels good to you. Lift the tailbone. Really get that good stretch in the back of our legs. And then we might take our hands a little farther out, coming more into a plank. Whatever feels good to you, whatever amount of a plank. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then we'll lower down to the mat. Come around to our back. Take one block with you. And we're just going to put it between our legs, between our thighs, knees, right? Long ways there. And bring your feet close in. Rest your arms down. Good. Just taking a couple breaths as we exhale. We're going to just gently squeeze our block, right? So inhaling and exhaling as you squeeze the block. Inhale, relax. Exhale, gently squeeze. You don't have to do it with a lot of force. Just gently squeeze and then relax. And then this time we'll go ahead and gently squeeze, peel the spine up off the mat, coming up into a bridge. Maybe adjusting your feet or whatever you need to do up here, pressing the pelvis up, relax the shoulders. Good. And then as we exhale, gently squeeze and melt the spine back down. And then relax and inhale. Exhale, peel off the mat. So every time we exhale, we're just going to add that gentle squeeze into our block, right? And at the top of our bridge, we'll stay up and take a few breaths with that little squeeze on our exhale. So think of pressing your hips up a little bit more, right? As you squeeze and exhale. Just a little bit. Yeah. And then go ahead and let your spine melt back down on your next exhale all the way. And then taking our arms up and over our head, we're going to take a nice big stretch away from our body. Just kind of reach your arms. Good. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're just going to sweep the arms around, curl up and reach and squeeze your block. And then stay up and lift the arms. And then lie back down. Arms come over your head. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep the arms, curl up and squeeze and reach and lift. Good. Stay up here. Arms come to the ceiling and then lie back down onto the ground as you go down. Exhale, sweep around, curl up and squeeze your block. And lift and relax back down. So get into the nice deep breathing flow of this, right? As we exhale, we curl up and squeeze and reach, and then stay here and lift the arms. And then relaxing everything as we come all the way down. One more. Sweep it around on your exhale. Curl up. Squeeze. Lift the arms. And lie back down. Arms over the head. You can leave your arms over your head wherever they're comfortable, however wide apart. And then just take your knees over to one side. Wait for your block. And then lift and over to the other side. Just a little twist. And back to the top. And then bend the elbows, clasp the hands behind your head. Nice deep breath. As we exhale, we're going to press head and shoulders up, squeeze the block, and then float the legs up and straighten them. Good. Bend the knees. Bring your feet back to the ground and lie head and shoulders back down. Good. Inhale. Exhale, press up and squeeze the block, and then lift the knees, extend the legs. Now take your arms, reach them. Help you lift just a little bit higher as you reach. Good. And then bring the hands behind the head, bend the knees, feet to the ground, lower head and chest back down. Nice deep breath. Exhale, press up as you squeeze and lift the knees. Same thing. Extend the legs, reach, lift. Good. Stay up as you bring your arms back, but let the knees bend. Feet to the ground and lie back down. Good. Inhale. This time you're going to keep your feet on the ground as you exhale up and squeeze and look to the left. So a little rotation and come back to center. Lie back down as you inhale. Exhale, press up and turn to the right. And bring it center. And lie back down. Good. We're going to add to that. Exhale, press up and squeeze. Turn to the left. Lift the knees. Extend the legs. Turn and look at your legs. Bend the knees. Bring your feet down. Lie your head and shoulders back down. Good. Nice deep breath. Exhale, press up. Turn to the right. Lift the legs. Extend. Come back to center, bend the knees, feet back down, lie your head and shoulders down. Keep going. Exhale, press up, squeeze, turn to the left, lift the knees, straighten the legs, turn and face your legs and reach your arms. Reach. Squeeze that block a little bit. Bend the elbows to put your hands back, bend the knees, feet on the ground, and lie back down. I think you're starting to feel this. Nice deep breath. Exhale, press up and turn to the right. Lift the knees. Extend. Turn to face your legs. Reach. Squeeze. Good. Let your legs bend as your hands come back. And then bring your feet down and lie back down. And you can take a rest now. Okay, take your legs over to one side again with your hands behind your head. Just let your legs relax and then lift up and take them over to the other side. Good. I'm feeling it. I know you are. Okay, bring it back to the top. Good. Inhale. Exhale, press head and shoulders up, lift the legs up, and just keep the knees bent here. What we're going to do is bring our legs away from us, lower the head and shoulders a little bit. So you're just going to open and then exhale to bring everything back towards each other, right? So just opening up. You don't have to go very far. Taking the legs away, bringing your head and shoulders away from your legs, and then exhale everything back. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. It's a super crunch, right? So it's hard. You don't have to have it be a huge movement. Exhale, close. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And then let your head and shoulders relax down and take out your hands away. Grab your block. Hug your knees. Just put your block on top of them and just relax your body for a moment. And then with our block on top of our knees, we're just going to do a little tailbone lift. So inhale, exhale, press block into legs, legs into block, and then relax as you inhale. So we're getting a little stretch in our tailbone. Exhale, press. Feel your tailbone curling up. Inhale, relax. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. Getting into the low belly muscles. Exhale, press. Inhale, relax. All right, and then just take your block and hold it in front of your chest or your face or whatever it feels right out from your arms there. Bring your legs into frog, so heels are together, toes and knees are open. Keep those heels together, really open the knees. You're just going to pull your heels in as much as you can. As we exhale, we're going to stretch the legs out and bring our arms just a little bit back behind our head or our shoulders. So press your back into the mat and then inhale, return, really pull it in. Exhale, stretch it out, reach back. Feel your whole spine on the mat, right? Inhale, return, pull it in. Exhale, stretch it out and reach. Make sure you keep your heels together, external rotation of the legs the whole time. Exhale, reach. Inhale, return, pull those heels in. Exhale, stretch out, reach. Good. And then go ahead and when you bend your knees, bring your block in between your legs again with your legs up like that. And then arms out from our shoulders on the ground. We're just going to take our legs over to one side as we inhale, anchor the shoulders, gently squeeze and bring it back to the top. And then over to the other side as you inhale, exhale back. Your legs can be as close to your torso as feels comfortable for your back. Exhale up. Good. Inhale to the side. Exhale back. If you want, straighten your legs more. Otherwise, keep them bent. Take it to the side. Exhale up. Take it to the side. Exhale up. Let's add a little circle. Take it to the side, bringing our legs a little bit away from us to come around to the other side and back. And alternating our circles. So we're going to take it a little bit away around to the other side and return to center. And you might grow your circle a little more if you want. Really using our breath, gently squeezing the block as we exhale. Last one. And when you come to the top, go ahead and bend your knees, take your block out. You want to give your legs a little hug into your chest. Feel free to do that. Rock your body around. That feels good to you. And then put your feet on the mat. We're going to press our hips up and slide our block underneath the sacrum. So kind of centering your sacrum on the block there. Good. And let's grab hold of our right knee with our right hand. And you can just extend your left leg long on the ground. So gently pulling your ribs down will give you a more stretch there. Good. And then we'll add a little movement here. So just inhale, and then every time we exhale, we're just going to gently pull our rib cage down and float your leg up. And then inhale, let it float back down and relax. Exhale, pull the rib cage down and float the leg up. Feel like it's just floating, right? You're not really trying to lift it. exhale, pull the rib cage down, float the leg up, and let it float back down. Good, so pull the ribs down, float it up, and this time just stay up here. And see if you can just sort of move your leg around, draw like a figure 8 on its side, infinity sign kind of thing. Just move it around. And then stop and let it float down and relax. Good. And just take your left arm over your head so you can stretch your arm and leg sort of away from each other here. Kind of pull your ribs down a bit. You can really get a good stretch in the front of your flexors, your hips. And then bring your arm back and pull that left knee in. Stretch your right leg out, holding on to your left knee. And then we're going to do the same thing with the movement. So as we inhale, we just relax. As we exhale, pull the rib cage down and let your leg float up. It's kind of like it's the pulling that ribs down that activates your leg, right? Inhale, exhale, pull ribs down, and that makes your leg kind of come up. And then let it float down. And exhale, pull ribs down and float leg up. So this is the psoas connection, right? We're using that psoas to lift the leg. You want to really feel like it's just floating. This time when we lift it up, we're going to stay up and again draw that sort of sideways figure 8, kind of little bit of movement while you're just letting your leg hang out there. Notice if one leg feels very different than the other. And then stop, let your leg relax down. Take your right arm over your head and maybe add a little stretch to that. Pull the ribs down and really feel an increase in that stretch when you do that. And then bring your arm back and pull your right knee in. And then we'll just take both legs up to the ceiling and open them apart. So straddle the legs. You can hold on with your hands or not. Just let gravity kind of stretch our legs, inside of our legs. You can hold on inside of your legs. Whatever feels good to you. Gravity can really help us get that stretch in the adductors, right? Let's open the hips. All right, and then you can just let your knees bend a bit, bring them back in, or whatever is comfortable for you. Put your feet back down on the ground. And then we'll press our hips up off the block. And then just see if you can keep your hips a little bit off the block, but use it if you need it. And we're just going to do a little march. So lift your right knee up and then bring it back to the ground and lift your left knee up and bring it back. Again, if you need to use the block to rest, you can, but see if you can kind of hover over that block, okay, and do a little march. Just side to side. The block gives us a good feedback whether we're holding our hips still and if they're lopsided or not, right? All right, now when we're both feet on the ground, see if you can press your hips up a little more. Slide your block out and articulate your spine all the way down. Yeah, all right. And then let's take hold of our right leg, pull it in and stretch it to the ceiling. You can either leave your left leg bent or you can straighten it on the mat. And just give this leg a good stretch. Yeah, feel free to have something to help you with that, like a strap or a band if you need it or want it. You can move your foot, of course. And then we're going to do a little movement. So you can either use your strap if you want, or have your arms out from your shoulders. Take that leg across the body, keeping your shoulders on the ground. And lift it up. And open it out to the side, to the right side, toward that right hand. And lift it back up. And again, over to the left, toward your left hand. Straight as you can if you really want to get that stretch in your hip. And lift it up. And open to the right. And lift it up. And then we're going to go ahead and bend that knee. Draw your left leg in and put your right foot down, straighten this leg. So we're going to switch to the left, and you can either keep your right leg bent or straighten it. Give this leg a stretch, give that foot some movement. All right, and then we're going to do a little cross the body stuff. So arms can be either out, or you can use a strap if you want. Take that leg across, reaching towards your right hand, and lift it up and open it out. Try to keep the right hip down. And lift it up. And again, across. Really straighten it as much as you can, or lift it as high as you can. Bring that stretch to our hip. And lift it up. One more time, opening out to the left. And lift up. And you can bend your knee, let it relax. If you're using a strap or anything, you can release. Go ahead and put your feet on the ground. Stretch your whole body out, flexing your feet. Reach through one side and the other. Let's do a big stretch side to side. And then relax and open your legs a little wider, arms wider into that V. So you feel like a big X. Take one hand over to your other arm, reaching across. And then coming back onto our back and to the other side, spiral over to that side. And coming back onto your back. Now we're awake. Okay, bring your feet down onto the ground, sweep your arms, roll up, grab hold of your legs or whatever you need to do to come up to sitting, and then extending both legs in front, lifting our sits bones. We're just going to start with a little stretch forward, so pelvis forward, and then relax. You can always round your spine if you like. You can always flatten your back if you like. Just puts a little different emphasis on the stretch. And then we're going to sit up and make a diamond with your legs. Right, to start with, so that feet are out in front of us. Stretch forward, kind of reach your hands towards your feet or past your feet, wherever they go. Little hip opening and sacrum stretch. And then lift up. And let's go ahead and do a little side to the side stretch. So just rotate to one leg, keep your sits bones rooted, and just take a little stretch to that side because it always feels so good in the hip. Yeah, head toward knee. Elbow feels good in the shoulder. And come up and take it to the other side. So just over toward that knee. And come up. And then we'll extend the legs. Now, if this is hard for you to straddle your legs, we're going to take a little straddle. You can keep your knees bent. And if it's really hard, you can still stay in your diamond, okay? But if you can, come into a little straddle with your knees bent, take your block. And we're just going to hold it out in front of us. In other words, we want our spine to be as erect as possible. So whatever you need to do with your legs. Okay, so on our inhale, we're going to press a little bit into that block and draw it in towards our chest, lengthening the spine. And then our exhale, we're going to twist over to toward one side or one leg, and then reach your arms straight out in front of you. Lift that block up over your head and return to center, block in front. So inhale, exhale as you press and lengthen your spine. Turn to the other side. Extend the arms straight out. Lift it up over the head. Come back to center, arms out in front. Press into the block, lengthening the spine. As you pull it in, rotate. Reach the arms. Lift. Back to center and block front. One more. Press into that block as you lengthen tall. Rotate. Reach straight out in front. Lift up. Return to center. Keep your block here. We're going to hinge forward. So you've got to keep that back flat. And however far forward you hinge is fine. The block is in line with the crown. Head's lifted. And if your legs are in a diamond, it'll be easier. And we're just going to do a little tiny pulse backward. So kind of just as if you were going to throw your block behind your head, just a tiny pulse. And then stop and rotate and look under one arm. And back to center, flatten the back. Keep your head lifted. Rotate the other way, look under that arm. It's okay if your elbows are slightly bent. Back to center, flatten the back. Good. And go ahead and stack up. Relax your back, stack it up. Bring your hands down in front of you. Oh, good work for the back. Okay, put the block between your knees, between your legs. We'll just do a few roll backs and roll ups with the block to help us. So go ahead and, leave your legs bent, or if you want to straighten them, good. Inhale. As you exhale, curl the tailbone under, round back. Now, if you want to go all the way back, go ahead. If you don't think you want to, you can go halfway. And then inhale, exhale, squeeze the block and roll back up. You've got the block, so you can do whatever feels good to you, right? And works for you. Exhale as you gently squeeze and roll back. Inhale. Good. Nice deep breath. Using your block. Exhale, squeeze and roll up. And you don't have to go all the way back if if you don't want to, or you can warm up to it. Take your time. Exhale, squeeze and roll up. We really want to just kind of get some movement in our spine, right? And also engage our core. Good. Last one, wherever you're at, just take one more time to roll down and up. And when you come to the top, you can stay there. Take your block and we're going to bring it between now it's up to you really where you want to put it between your legs. You can put it between your feet or your calves if you prefer, or even your knees, your thighs. It's kind of up to you where you like it, because it's an awkward thing to hold on to, right? So it could be tricky. Okay, so just doing with wherever it's comfortable for you, somewhere. Inhale. On our exhale, we're just going to lift our legs, right? Holding onto the block. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And exhale, lift. And then inhale, lower. Exhale, press the head up and the legs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Everything lifts up, but pressing your head up and shoulders up a little bit, and then laying back down as you inhale. Good. Inhale one more time, and then we're going to add. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Roll back a little bit. Sweep your bottom arm. Roll into teaser. Lifting up. You can keep your legs bent or straighten them. And then roll back onto your side the way you came. Good. Inhale. Exhale, lift everything up. Sweep that arm. Roll back into teaser. And rolling back down the way we came. One more. Inhale, exhale, lift. Sweep it around and lift up. And come back the way you came. Good. And then you're just going to bend your knees to pull them in. Grab your block wherever it is. Just put it in front of you on the ground. Stretch your legs out. We'll take our legs up, both of them just up, however high they come. And you're just going to sweep them like a scissors kind of thing. Sweep, 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 and hold, pressing your arm into the block, your top hand into the block. You might need to roll back a little on the hip. Could be a little tricky. Yeah. And then bring the legs together, relax them down, let your knees bend. And let's go ahead and press ourselves up to our elbow. So you can use your block if you want, or just leave it in front of you. And then taking your top leg straight, pressing into the ground, lift the arms, lift the hips. Take a big stretch over, just arch over. And lift up. Lower everything back down. One more time. Reach it out, lift the hips and the arm, and stretch. And lift up. And lower down. And go ahead and come all the way up and take a side stretch this direction with your legs wherever you want to bring them next to you, wherever they'll go. Yeah. And then we're going to come onto our knees with our block. So bring yourself on the same side. Okay, so we're going to, before we go to the other side, come onto your knees if you can. Feel free to put padding underneath. Your block can be whatever orientation you want it. You might want to go with a medium or a high for more support. So we're just going to take our same leg that was still on top, goes out to the side. Okay. Again, your block can be higher or lower, wherever you need it. Bring this arm up. So you're going to lift that leg, however high it lifts. Stretch your arm away from your leg. And then bend your elbow and knee and draw them towards each other. And then stretch it out. Good. And bring it in. And stretch it out. And it's okay if your foot comes all the way down to the ground when you stretch it out, or wherever, yeah, wherever it goes is fine. Reach and bring it in, and then reach it out. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Good. And then go ahead and bring your knees down onto the ground. If you can, sit back onto your heels. Take a little stretch that way. I can't quite do it unless I go like this. There we go. Any way to get a little stretch in the hip. You can sit on your feet. That's ideal. And then we're going to come around to our other side. So bring your block between your feet or your calves or wherever you want to hold on to it. Whatever works. Lay down. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the legs up. And inhale. Lower down. Good. Exhale. Lift up. Inhale. Lower down. Exhale up, and then we're going to start lifting the head as well, or pressing the head up as you lift the legs. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale up. Really breathe with this. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And then we're going to go into our little teaser. So we're going to exhale up, roll back a bit, sweep that arm up into your teaser, and then make your way back down onto your side. See how graceful we can do that. Inhale, exhale, press up, sweep that arm as you roll back and come up. Legs can be bent or straight, and come back down the way we came. Good. One more. Good. Exhale up. At least that's all I can do. Okay, roll back. And come back down the way we came. Oh. And then go ahead and bend the knees. Bring your block in. And put it down in front of you. Oh, relax your legs for a moment. And then you can use your hand to press up onto the elbow. Good. And then letting your top leg be straight, bottom leg bent. We're just going to take our arm and our hips up and take a big stretch over. And then lift. I didn't forget anything, did I? And lower down. And one more time. I feel like I forgot something. Lift up, big stretch. Oh, well. That's my brain. And lift up and lower down. And just bring yourself up for a side stretch on the side. And then we'll come onto our knees. I realize not everybody can do that, but you can find a way to lay on your side and lift your legs as well, right? So whatever orientation you want your block to be, extend that leg out. And take this arm up, lift the leg, stretch over, find your block where it needs to be here, and then pull elbow to knee, knee to elbow, and then reach out as you inhale. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull in. stretch. Exhale in. So we kind of sit back on our hips and we pull it in, right? And then we press the pelvis forward. Good. Inhale and exhale. I don't know how many you did on the other side. We'll just do one more after this. All right. And then when you bring it together on this one, go ahead and let your knee come under you. Sit back on your heels if you can. Just kind of stretch the hips. And then we'll be coming onto our all fours. So put your, this is where you're going to need your other block if you have them. But right now, just take your block and put it between the knees, between the legs, your hands on the ground. We'll use it to squeeze a little bit. So we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we're going to curl the tailbone under, gently squeeze the block. And then maybe you'd like to press your hips back a little bit and lift up. At least I like to do that. You don't have to arch. So every time we exhale, we gently squeeze our block, curl and round the back. And lift up and relax as we come into an arch. A little cat-cow with engagement, right? With our inner thighs and our pelvic floor. Good. And this time when you come up to your arch, you can come to neutral and then take your block. If you have two blocks, if you don't have two blocks, you're better off just to have your hands on the mat. Okay. But if you have two blocks, it's kind of nice to do this. So bring your arms or your blocks a little farther out in front of you. So they're not under your shoulders, but a little farther, because we're just going to do some extension. So just rounding our back, pressing the hips back a little bit and lifting up. And then we're going to straighten the legs and we're going to come into extension here. So you're using, the blocks are really nice for support and to make it a little easier. Get a good stretch and then bring it back and round the back. And lift up. So you really get a good stretch in the shoulders and then extension all the way up. Up dog. And then back. Curl the tailbone round. And lift up and come into extension. Anyway, I find it's easier than having your hands on the mat. And you're going to stay in extension here. And just look over your left shoulder. And then come back to center. And then look over your right shoulder. And back to center. And then lift up. Good. And then put your blocks on the lowest orientation. Put your forearms on them. Or on the mat if you don't have two blocks. And we're just going to come into a little plank. So extend one leg back and the other leg back. Forearm plank. And just breathe here. Make sure your pelvis is lifted. Good. And then letting our knees come down one at a time. And bringing the legs under you. Stretch back to your heels. Good. And then we'll bring our, once again, either blocks or hands on the mat. Go ahead and bring yourself into a down dog. So you can use blocks or not here. I find them helpful, but I think it makes a little bit, it's good support. better support, yeah? And then see if you can't lift your right leg up behind you. It's okay if the leg is a little bent, maybe open that hip a little bit. And then turn your hips parallel to the mat. And we're going to bring our foot through our hands into a lunge, however you can get there. And just come into a lunge. Supported lunge will be nice if you do have the blocks, and just letting your left leg be lifted if possible. But if you need to lower it down, looking forward. Getting a nice, real deep hip flexor stretch. Like I said, let your knee come down and relax down if you want. And then we're going to make our way back to our down dog. Are you thinking we're doing yoga? Sort of. Okay. I got to make my way into my down dog. Okay. And then we're going to lift our left leg up. I don't think I can do on that foot. So lift your left leg up behind you. Take a little bit of a turn to the left, opening that hip if you can. And then bring the hips back to parallel, and we're going to bring our left foot through, however you can get there. And again, lifting the right leg if possible, but always let it come down if you need to, like I need to do on this side. Make sure the legs are lined up with the hips, not with each other. Just looking forward. Just breathe into that stretch. And then go ahead and bring that knee back under you like that, and just come onto your knees. And then we're going to come onto our belly. So you just need one block here for this, and have your block just in front of, on top of your head on the ground. So just in line with your crown like that. Put your hands on top so elbows are bent. And we're on our inhale, we're going to lift our elbows. On our exhale, we're going to press into the block to press up. So it's a little push up, right? And then lower back down. Relax your elbows. Make sure your block is in line with the top of your head. Lift the elbows. Press yourself up. And lower down and relax your elbows. Again, lift the elbows, press up. Lower down and relax your arms. And then take your block farther out in front of you and hold it. Now you might want a pillow under your chest or a blanket or something, right, to help you have your block directly up with the arms stretched out. And we're just going to lift everything up. So bring your body hovering off the ground and just do little flutter kicks with your legs, like you're swimming, right? Holding on to something. And breathe. Head is just looking down between the arms. And stop, relax everything down. And then we're going to lift up again. So just float up off the ground. This time we're just going to open and then squeeze the legs together. So open them apart, squeeze them together. Open apart, squeeze together. Apart, squeeze together. And if it's hard to keep your arms up, you can put them down. You can put the block down if you want. Go ahead and stop, lower down. Take a break. I'm going to do one more thing. Okay, so float up again. Take the block in one hand. Bring both arms behind your back. See if you can lift a little higher. Switch it. Bring it back in front of you, over your head. Good. And then take it in your other hand. Bring it back. Switch. Bring it over your head and relax. And then one more time, lift up, take it in one hand, bring it back, both arms, switch it to that other hand, bring it forward, stay up if you can, or not. You can also rest. Take it back the way you came. Switch, bring it over, and lower down. All right, and we're just gonna come up onto our knees and take a stretch back in child's pose. A little back stretch here. Or come onto your back if you need to. All right. Just come up around to we'll come around to sitting, and you can always sit on your block if you want. Go ahead and sit with your legs in a straddle or a diamond, or even sit cross-legged if you want. You can sit in the straddle. We're just going to do a little stretching here. So bring your arms out for saw, right? Lifting the spine, rotate, and keep your hips planted as you stretch for that opposite foot. Up and come back to center and rotate and reach across. Good, and come back to center, rotate, and just do that a few times to get a nice stretch through your shoulders and hips. Rotate, switch. Keeping the hips really rooted. And breathe. All right, and then just come up when we're finished, even on both sides. Come up, give your shoulders a little shake or a little roll, and maybe just kind of move the head, circle head in front of you, or like you're drawing a circle with your head in front of you, like that, and just let your neck relax. And the other way. Always hear a little crunching sounds when you do that, right? Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody. No class on Friday. I'll remind you though.